Welcome back, Wolfpack. Dire Wolf here.
A bank robber is released with no bail and then goes on to rob another bank. Wow, that's very surprising. I'm shocked. New York City loves crime. They bask in it. They encourage it. And most importantly, they don't punish it. Unless, of course, you misgender a tranny. Then it's the wall for you. But rob a bank or four? Well, you have a nice day, sir. You are clearly a busy guy. And NYC would hate to inconvenience you with something like incarceration.
And that is exactly what happened this week when Gerald Woodbury, 42, robbed 4 banks during the first few days of 2020. Boy, he's a busy guy. Must have been his New Year's resolution. When he was finally caught this week, he was surprised to learn that on January 1st of this year, a new law went into effect in the Big Apple. The new law eliminated cash bail. What did this mean for Gerald? It meant that he was free to go as long as he promised to show up for his court hearing. That seems like there's no holes in that process at all. No one could possibly abuse that. An anonymous source told us that it was probably a pinky promise. Quote, everyone knows those are unbreakable. The source that definitely wasn't Fox said when he was interviewed earlier today.
That must be some source, though. Sounds like a upstanding guy. Definitely wasn't me.
Close to the show.
Yes, friend of the show, perhaps. Shocked at his good fortune, Gerald reportedly shouted, and this one's a real report, quote, I can't believe they let me out, as he left the police department. And to celebrate his newfound freedom, he robbed a 5th bank.
Could possibly have seen that coming. This is so very sharking. I'm just so shocked right now. This is my shocked face. I really don't think anyone could have seen this coming. This was a complete unexpected outcome.
Yes, very shocking indeed, but I'm pretty sure that this is just an outlier. Now that the new law is in effect and the pinky promise system is in place, I am sure NYC will not be flooded with these shocking tales of recidivist crime.
Okay, I get it. The reason why they put this law in place is because there is a disparity between who can get out on bail and who doesn't based on income. If you can pay for bail, if you're more wealthy, you can pay for bail. And if you're not very wealthy, you can't, even though there are bail bondsmen that would charge you a fee, basically. I get that's the reason why they did it. But what did they think was going to happen? If you make it so people who have committed a violent crime or a crime that they're likely to recommit, you make it easy for them to get back onto the street with nothing they're having to pony up, nothing they're going to lose.
Yeah, and to pretend that like bank robbery is not a violent crime.
Yeah, and this is like, there's also a lot of examples of people when they are just required to give a promise to return for court, they just don't because there's nothing riding on it, right? What's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to get arrested again. The vast majority of immigration cases, they're caught and released. They don't show up for the court cases.
And a lot of that's a deterrent, right? To have your bail set. But statistically, you're people who are more and more likely to be able to pay bail. As you go up in income, your likelihood of doing violent crime is going down. That's just where the stats are. But there is some European countries that do percentages of income for things like traffic violations or bail or something like that. And what their intent in doing that, to the extent that Europe has any good ideas at all, this one maybe is a workable one. But their intent is to try and make sure that if you're punishing somebody, it's got the same feeling for a rich person as it does for a poor person. So if 1% of your income as a poor person is going to like really hurt, or maybe 10%, well, that 10% for a rich person is going to hurt the same, or that's kind of the idea. So maybe New York could have looked at doing something like that, doing some kind of progressive bail bond system where your bail rate was set for whatever your income was the previous year. That would have been maybe a workable solution, and it would have been something that was a very New York thing to do. But as we see over and over again, the left, when they get control of these cities, they have no idea how to do baby steps. It has to be these giant sweeping destruction of everything that we know works. And so just destroying the bail bond system, saying, okay, well, we don't need to be holding criminals anymore. We can just let them go free. That'll be a workable solution. Nothing could go wrong with that.
So you could have kept the bail bond system in place but improved upon it. Removing it altogether does so much damage. It results results in this obvious, very predictable outcome. And also because you removed it outright, and it's going to probably take them a while to figure out how stupid that was. In that meantime, you've destroyed the businesses that have been established there that did bail bonds. So if you decide to want to bring it back, there's going to be no businesses to support it.
Well, and the bail bond systems, I mean, that's pretty aggressive work too. Not just anybody can do that. And as soon as you've disrupted that economy, because there's a whole economy around bail bonds, as soon as you break that kind of chain of time where you have these people who are experienced with bail bonds and they have a recruitment process and they've got, established ways that they do stuff, you can't get that experience back. A lot of these bail bonds, I mean, they go back, generations even of being bondsmen, and you can't just get rid of that for a year, expect all of those people to just sit in stasis, and then when you decide next year, like, oh man, this is a bad idea, we need those bail bondsmen back. They're not going to be there. They're going to be gone. Even if you restart the bail system, you're not going to have any bail businesses to pick up those bonds.
Just so everyone understands how bail bonds works, you are required to pay a certain amount of money to get released from jail that is held, and then if you show up for your court case, you get that back. So if you have the money, you get all your money back. But if you go to a bail bondsman, they'll give you the money to get out of jail, and then you owe them a certain amount of money.
And if you don't, they will come find you.
Yes, and they're the ones that will go and make sure you show up for your court case, because they will lose that money if you don't.
It's a good way to make sure that people show up for their court dates. I mean, it's worked for hundreds of years at this point.
It doesn't necessarily bankrupt someone even when they have a lower income, as long as the initial amount is not what destroys them, right? Or the fee to the bail bondsman isn't too great for an average person of that.
And there's existing regulations around how that system works, and if they wanted to change that, that was something that they could have discussed, but just outright getting rid of it is going to be something that they massively regret.
Yes, absolutely. There's no way coming back from this. You've already destroyed the system. You could have fixed it, but you just obliterated it and made a bigger problem, as is what most Democrats do. It's a recurring story. Have you not seen that theme in everything they do?
I actually have. It seems to be our theme on the show.
Fair enough.
Hey Wolfpack, if you liked our video, hit that like button and share it with your friends. And if you really liked the video, share it with your enemies as well. And if this is your first time and you want to see more content from us, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to receive notifications, hit that bell button. It won't do anything, but it'll make you feel better about yourself. I would also like to thank everyone who donates to our channel monetarily through zerostrings.org or through Streamlabs and Super Chats. Thank you very much for your support.